Good morning from an absolutely freezing cold Sarasota, Florida. This morning I'm here for the St. Armands Circle Art Festival this weekend. And I gotta admit, I was a little nervous to come for this one because just a few months ago, two major hurricanes came right through this area and absolutely devastated the surrounding areas. First, Hurricane Helene came through. Actually didn't come through, it was out in the Gulf, but the storm surge from that washed over this whole area, and this whole area was completely underwater. And then just about 2 weeks later, Hurricane Milton passed right over here. I think the eye of the hurricane actually went right through St. Armands Circle where the art show is, and the level of destruction from those two storms was just immense. And there are so many homes and businesses that are just still completely destroyed from the storms. So I was a little nervous to come for the show. They did have an art show here in November, and I heard from a lot of artists that it was really great. So I'm hopeful that that continues this weekend. I know a lot of artists say, like, oh, when there's things like floods and hurricanes, people always need to buy new art to stock their homes and homes that have been repaired and stuff. But it's kind of a sad way to look at a disaster like that. And I know of this devastation firsthand because my mom actually lived on Longboat Key, which is just the island north of St. Armands Circle here, just a mile, not even a mile away. And her house was completely destroyed in the hurricane. I actually went there and went inside the house for the first time since the storm just yesterday after I set up for the show. So this was where my mom lived. You can see where the wall was cut out. The water had come to just a little bit below this, and she was home when it flooded and, you know, was trapped inside here with the water rising for hours that night of the hurricane. I can't imagine how scary and terrifying that must have been for her. And her husband and two dogs and a cat were in here also. And at night too, so it's dark and the water is rising and you don't know how high it's going to come or when it's going to recede. The current in the water is an issue too. Like if the current is going to be really strong, because they couldn't open the front door. You can't get out of the house because where are you going to go? It was water coming in from the Gulf. It washed all the way over the island here into the bay. The whole island was just underwater. It's sad to see the place in this condition. Everything looks shitty on the island. All the vegetation is brown. Any tree that's not a palm tree or some kind of evergreen type tree just has absolutely no leaves. All the grass is brown. Even the palm trees are kind of brown looking. Really devastating. And they had only moved into this house maybe a year ago from New Hampshire, so they had not been here very long at all. So they didn't even really get to enjoy the luxury of living almost at the beach here on Longboat Key for very long. Thankfully they survived, injury-free, but an absolutely terrible experience to go through. And the aftermath has been terrible too, dealing with insurance companies and trying to get this rectified and taken care of and find a place to live again. My mom actually said that dealing with the aftermath stuff has been much worse than living through the experience of the hurricane. And the craziest thing is the flood was from Hurricane Helene, which was over 100 miles out in the Gulf of Mexico. And then the second storm, Milton, came through like, I think 2 weeks later, and that was mostly just a windstorm over here, but all the flooding that went on was from Helene, which was over 100 miles offshore. But the storm just pushed all the water into the island here. I feel so awful for everyone here who had to endure that, whether they were here when the storm hit or not. Just to have your house be wrecked like that is devastating. It's kind of sad walking around here and seeing all the homes that have been devastated by the hurricane and all the businesses around the circle. Like a lot of them are closed and doing repair work. And all the grass and the trees are just all brown from the flooding, salt water. And they're starting to come back, but it's not the the vibrant, colorful St. Armands Circle that we're used to coming to. And I know these things will recover, businesses will rebuild, and the vegetation will turn green again, but it's really shocking to see how different it looks this year as compared to last year. And I'm actually a little surprised that they are as far along as they are with the recovering and the rebuilding, because it wasn't that long ago. It was just at the end of September and beginning of October that those two storms came through, and right now we're right at the end of January, so it hasn't been very long. So hopefully the artists and the art show can bring some color and life back to St. Armands Circle this weekend. Actually, I've got a new piece that I'm debuting for the very first time right up here. This is my first piece from South Africa that I'm showing for the very first time this weekend, so I'm excited to hear some feedback about it, good or bad. I always love to hear people's reaction when I have new work. Also, you might notice behind me I have a bit of a convertible booth this weekend. I set up one tent and then had plenty of room behind my booth to add more panels, but not quite enough room to get a second tent in with the height that I have on my new tent here. Look, so I've got the one tent over here set up, and then I've got like a back pickup truck convertible style open sunroom in the back here, which was great because it wasn't supposed to rain at all this weekend, so had no worries about leaving the back open like this, and it's worked out really nice. It's kind of a nice, cool, different booth setup for me. I'm here with my friend and fellow artist, Josh Fradis, this morning. Josh is a glass artist that I've known for a long time here doing these Howard Allen shows. Josh shared a really great story with me yesterday that I thought would be really relevant to what I'm talking about this week. So Josh, just tell me the story you told me.
Sure. So I had a wonderful lady come into my booth yesterday, and she was looking at these glass hearts, and she was so moved by the hearts that she decided that she wanted to do something very special for the people here in Sarasota. There's been a lot of loss and devastation here over the last 6 or 8 months, and she said that she wanted to buy the whole arrangement, and she wanted me to give them away to people this weekend. So she bought 25 hearts, and I'm giving them away to 25 people this weekend, just trying to brighten their day a little bit. Yesterday, I gave away 16 of them. I'm gonna give away another 10 today. And it's just a very touching thing. I've never in my career came across such generosity from anyone out here, and such like selflessness as far as just wanting to make people happy. And each time I get the opportunity to give one away, I get to tell the story too. And every time I tell it, it makes me very happy, and it makes somebody else very happy as well.
It almost brought a little tear to my eye yesterday when you told me that.
That happened several times. It's happened to several people where they've almost teared up.
A lot of people around here have faced a lot of hardship and devastation over the past couple months and dealing with the hurricanes and then the recovery from it. What a cool freaking thing to bring some color into people's lives and some happiness and joy. That's thanks for sharing that. That's really awesome. And thanks to that lady, whoever she is. You wouldn't, someone you didn't know before, right? Just
first time I met her yesterday.
Just a random act of generosity. It's really awesome. I love to hear stuff like that. Thanks,
Beautiful
Josh.
thing.
I'll put Josh's info for his work and website and all that stuff in the description. So check out Josh. He's a really, really great artist, really nice guy.
Thanks, Evan.
Good person to support.
All right.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, of course.
The sun came out and it's warmed up quite a bit. There's a decent crowd walking around here. It's perfect art show weather. Too cool to go to the beach or on the boat, but a beautiful, sunny, clear day. Great day to buy art. So I just sold some work off the wall, so I have to get my ladder so I can shift some things around so I don't have a big gaping hole in my walls. And what sold was a really colorful piece I did right here on Longboat Key that's going to be living on Longboat Key. So it's cool when the picture that I took is going to end up living where I took it. So despite some of the concerns I had, people did come out and supported the art show and the artists that are here. I think people who came out were happy to kind of get back out and start getting back to a bit of normalcy around here. And I got to remember that as much devastation and destruction as people had around here, not everyone was affected by the storms, and a lot of people come over from the mainland and from other towns around here. So it actually ended up being a great weekend for a lot of artists. And as people who did have storm damage start to rebuild and recover, there's going to be a lot of empty walls and empty houses that need filling with art, which of course it's sad that people have to go through this, but it's a great excuse to buy some new art. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel here because I got a really great video coming up next week, and I'll see you then.